Welcome to the INFOWARS Nightly News, the most hard-hitting show on television. I'm your host, Rob Dew, and today's date is Monday, July 2nd, 2012, and here's a look at what we have coming up tonight.
Tonight, the debt-fueled social welfare state marches in, and the Obama administration spends $3 million to convince us we will all live healthier lives if we just sign up for food stamps. Then, the Olympics whistleblower reveals his identity as he fears for his safety. And Rob Dew talks with Matthew Stein, the author of When Technology Fails, because there's never been a better time to be prepared. All that and more coming up next on the INFOWARS Nightly News.
That's right. There's no way of knowing when technology will fail or when disasters are going to strike. So your best bet is to be prepared, because it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Let's get to our top story. Olympics whistleblower fears for safety and he reveals his identity. I am now afraid that I might be in physical danger, says Lee Hazelton, the whistleblower who exposed how he infiltrated the G4S as an employee and uncovered how security preparations for the Olympics were so poor they were inviting a terrorist attack. If you remember last week we had him on, and one of the things he covered is that some of the workers were trying to sell drugs, to him, to other people. The supervisors didn't seem to care. They were talking about how they had an evacuation plan for London because of an extreme event that was going to happen, one that would change, I think they said change the face of London. So that interview is on the Alex Jones channel right now, and you can check that out. Or you can go back into the PrisonPlanet.tv archives if you're a member of PrisonPlanet.tv, which you should be if you're watching this right now. So check that out. Well, it's pretty interesting, and it's funny how when you get insiders in there and they come out and tell us the things that go behind closed doors. Now, I got some pictures I want to show you real quick. This is from a protest today. People were protesting Eric Holder. There's one there. Got justice? Hashtag fire Holder. We've got another one coming up. Holder must go. Hey, this guy, he's black, so he must be a racist against Holder. I mean, that's the only obvious conclusion I could draw. Guns don't kill people. Holder does. There's a nice-looking young man there. All from. Oh, wait, what's that? Oh, well, it's been. What happened to the protest? Where's the protest pictures? Oh, this is what happened. Secret Service disrupts students' fire Holder protest over suspicious package. And this is out of campusreform.org. Josiah Ryan writes, the Secret Service on Monday shut down a student protest calling for the firing of Attorney General Eric Holder, saying they were acting on concerns over a suspicious package left by a tourist on the White House grounds. So there you go. You leave a plastic bag, leave a paper sack, leave a backpack somewhere. Automatically, free speech is done. Get out, move over here, okay? That's what you have to do, especially when the Secret Service is concerned, because, when they're not too busy drinking and hooking up with hookers, they're looking out for paper bags. Paper bags are the problem out there, not 50 students who were well-informed asking for the president to fire Eric Holder for shipping guns to Mexico, trying to blame it on the Second Amendment. So kudos to campusreform.org for leading that protest and getting out there and going after the grunions that are trying to devastate our country. Moving on to Bloomberg. Wash trading by high-frequency firms said to face U.S. scrutiny. Here's a milquetoast headline, which I'm going to go over this article. This is out of Bloomberg. High-frequency trading firms are drawing scrutiny from U.S. regulators seeking evidence that they may have been distorting market prices by conducting transactions with themselves, said two people with knowledge of the matter. So-called wash trades, in which a party buys a contract from itself, could be executed, I like this, inadvertently by firms with multiple algorithms active in the same stock or derivative. Right, they were making money and they had no idea how they were making money. Such trades can alter the price of shares if they are executed above or below market rates. It would be illegal if deemed intentional. And we move on. The Securities and Exchange Commission and Commodities Future Trading Commission have sharpened their focus on high-frequency algorithmic trading since 2010, when about $862 billion was erased from stock values in 20 minutes. Oh my God. How do you do that in 20 minutes? But that was before the plunge protection team came in and help prop up the markets. Regulators have expressed concern that some firms' electronic exchanges don't have sufficient controls to prevent a range of events from improper trades to programming glitches. Okay, so there's your milquetoast title from Bloomberg. Wires trading by high-frequency firms said to face U.S. scrutiny. Then about a week later, it comes out on this website, The Truth Is Now. Computers on Wall Street are buying to themselves. There you go, buying and selling to themselves. So there's a headline that I want to read. This weak, watered-down Bloomberg headline doesn't make me want to read it, which is what Bloomberg wants. They don't want you to read stuff like this because, and then they want to put words in there like, oh, it's unintentional and they didn't know. Listen, they hire people right out of grad school. The smartest people in the world don't become scientists. They don't become educators. They don't become inventors. They go to Wall Street and learn how to steal from people. That's their job now, is to create little things that they write in their little code books that steal from people. So all the money that goes into these things, all the mom and pops that put their savings in, that gets erased. And I had an inside source. I talked to him today, and he gave me some information on how this works. He uses a little bit different terminology, but he said basically what happens is this. They create these programs, and then they kind of run on their own, and they'll change the data sets every once in a while when they're not making money. So they'll make millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of transactions really quickly. And what happens is other firms see this stock going up a little bit. Oh, it looks like there's a lot of activity. I want to get in on that. So they get in on that. And then the people that have been buying and selling to themselves, creating that false volatility or momentum, which may be just a few cents in the stock price, maybe fractions of pennies. They'll see that once they buy into that stock, they get the other people to bait it, and then they'll sell it out for them, and they'll make a little bit, like maybe 2 or 3 cents, but they do this over and over again. So they might be making 2 or 3 pennies a second, but that's magnified over 1 million times. And so as the day goes on, they're making lots of money, and nothing's really happening, though. People aren't looking at the data of how this company is doing. They're just looking at the volatility or how much action is going on in there. He says this is more than half the trading that goes on, and it leads to more volatility. He talked about the $800 million back in 2010. He said all major Wall Street firms and hedge funds are doing this, and they're charging 60% of the profits made from this trading, which is way more than what they normally get. Usually they get about 30% or 20% plus a fee to run the fund. But these guys are going in, they're taking 60% of the profits because this is so profitable. And they're running wild, and then Bloomberg comes out with this milquetoast article. Oh, it's glitches and programming errors. Yeah, right. I believe that. And then if the market starts to drop too bad, they have these things called circuit breakers, which come in, and that came in 2008. They might suspend trading for half an hour. They may suspend it for an hour. And he calls them quants, quantitative analysis, and they're quants hedge funds. And those are the people that are responsible for this. So you can use those buzzwords and look up and do your own research on it. They did this with the housing bubble. They were packaging these housing loans into other little pieces, into other securities, and trading them over and over and over again to themselves now. But of course, they had no idea it was going to happen. Trying to go through this stuff real quick. But moving on, we're going to go now to pre-crime.
Mr. Marks, by mandate of the District of Columbia Pre-Crime Division, I'm placing you under arrest for the future murder of Sarah Marks and Donald Dubin that was to take place today, April 22nd, at 0800 hours 4 minutes. No.
Well, they don't jump through your windows yet for pre-crime. You know, they only jump through your windows if you're growing a little bit of pot, or if you may have missed a payment here or there on your taxes, or at least they'll be doing that soon. But Yahoo News reports, sci-fi policing predicting crime before it occurs. So LAPD is the largest agency to embrace an experiment known as predictive policing, which crunches data to determine where to send officers to thwart would-be thieves and burglars. Time magazine calls it one of the best inventions of 2011. Early successes could serve as a model for other cash-strapped law enforcement agencies, but some legal observers are concerned that it may lead to unlawful stops and searches that violate the Fourth Amendment. No duh. Captain Sean Malinsky said, "We have prevented hundreds and hundreds of people from coming home and seeing their homes robbed." Wow. How did he know these homes were going to be robbed? Well, they have these computers, of course, more computer algorithms that predict hot spots all around the city. And so they send officers out there, and they say they dropped crime about 13%. Well, you know, why can't they use these to go out and go after the guys on Wall Street and predict when they're going to commit crimes? Can't they use these algorithms and tweak them to see when they're going to create the next bubble or when they're going to create the next engineered crash? Can they do that? I mean, I wish they could. But no, they seem to be going after the petty criminal, the guy who's going to break into your house and steal your stereo or your TV or your iPod. You know, not the guy stealing billions and billions of dollars. You won't see the LAPD going after those guys. That's just not in their agenda. Moving on to more police state news, DHS gives UC Berkeley armored personnel carrier. You know, because UC Berkeley, they need one. And this is funny. UCPD spokesperson Lieutenant Eric Tejada justified the purchase by pointing to an event last year when a man reported to be carrying an AK-47 assault rifle, despite the fact that the incident turned out to be a false alarm. There it is. It's a false alarm. So you got this 8-ton vehicle, commonly referred to as a Bearcat, is used by U.S. troops on the battlefield, is often equipped with a rotating roof hatch, powered turrets, gun ports, a battering ram, and weapon system used to remotely engage a target with lethal force. Or in the case of UC Berkeley, a bunch of stupid hippies that are protesting whatever. That's what they're going to go after with this thing. How much did it cost? Oh. Well, the city council accepted a $285,000 grant from Homeland Security to purchase one of the vehicles back in 2007. Oh, no, that was in New Hampshire. I'm sorry. That caused an uproar in a New Hampshire town. How much did it cost this time? Of course, just a $200,000 grant from the Department of Homeland Security, and that's the University of California. So that's where your tax money's going. It's going into pre-crime for petty criminals and giant tanks to take down anybody who may be educated enough to realize that they're being screwed over by the system that they're paying into with their tax money. Moving on. New socialist French nanny state mandates breathalyzers in all cars. A poll released over the weekend reveals that nearly 60% of respondents have yet to install the device. Okay, because they have to get these in there. This new law goes into effect by November 1st, or they face a fine of 11 euros or of around $14. I've got a story for you. Back in college, I used to, I had a friend who was a guitar player, and he lived up on this hill, had a bunch of trailers. And the guy next door to him liked to drink a lot. In fact, he liked to drink so much he got busted for DWI several times, and he actually had one of those devices in his car. And you know how he got around it? He had other people who weren't drinking breathe into it for him so he could start his car. And that's how people are going to get around this. I mean, this is a stupid law. We're going to have, another thing of the nanny state coming in. This is, of course, in France, where they just invited the socialists into their lives to tell them how to live. It's coming to us very soon. Moving on. Obama wants you on food stamps. And this was sent in. I love that graphic there. Liquor, discount cigarettes and beer. We accept food stamps, people. Come on in. It's from Melissa Melton, who was one of the finalists in our reporter contest.